Good morning. Once again, a very, very cold morning here in Banff. It's minus 22, minus 24, I think, right now. I'm down at Lake Minnewanka, but today I've doubled down. I've got a down jacket on top of a down jacket to try and keep warm. But I've come here today because the lake freezes at the start of winter, and then as the winter goes on, the lake tends to drop, and as it drops, the sides or the shores will crack and the ice will fall, and it can kind of make some pretty cool formations. So I'm hoping I can kind of have a scout out around the lake and find a cool composition. There's also this really kind of eerie mist in the sky today, like low clouds. So hopefully something will happen there. Maybe once the light comes up, we'll get some cool colours, but let's see what happens. So this morning it's this kind of stuff here that I'm looking for. These kind of cracks in the ice, or you can kind of see all of this bit through here. I'm thinking I can probably get some pretty nice foreground with the mountains in the background there. I'm hoping once the sun comes up it's going to kind of break through this mist a little bit, but there's a fair amount more of it around the side here, so I'm going to carry on walking around and see if I can find anything that looks kind of really cool. Whilst I'm scouting out a little bit this morning, I kind of wanted to touch on and speak a little bit about all this kind of stuff about AI, artificial intelligence, producing images. I've seen a lot of it on social media recently, and I just kind of wanted to share my thoughts on it, I suppose. And, you know, as photographers, should we be worried about it?
I recently read an article about how an AI image produced on Midjourney won a photography contest. And the image was good, like really good. And I know it would have fooled me too. The issue of AI in photography is being discussed online more and more, and will only become more relevant as time goes on. Sometimes it is a little bit doom and gloom, and the inevitable failure of the photography industry. But other stories do often have a more positive spin.
And I suppose those AIs, they do a great job of kind of recreating almost like miscellaneous landscapes, or landscapes based off of, you know, thousands of other people's pictures of landscapes. And they can do a pretty awesome job at recreating pictures of people. But again, they're people that don't necessarily exist, or landscapes that don't actually exist. There's so much of this kind of cracked ice you can see here and all the way through there as well. Sometimes if you're lucky, you can kind of get inside it a bit and shoot out of it like it's a little cave. Like, just fingers crossed this mist lifts just a little bit. But I think I'm going to put my spikes on before I fall over. See, like, look at this. This is just a kind of really tiny overhang of ice. But if you get in deep enough, you can kind of shoot in it like it's a little bit of a cave. And then, if you're lucky, you get a mountain in the background, but my luck is not so good right now. So, what genre of photography do you do? And how would that be affected by this artificial intelligence? For example, a lot of people might shoot newborn photography or portrait or family photography. And at the end of the day, you don't want that recreated by a computer. You want a picture of your actual child or your actual family. So no matter how good AI gets, I think that is a place where photographers will always exist. I think there's some really good opportunity here, like this little section here especially. This crack's so open that it would really work nicely if I can actually see that mountain. And unfortunately, the serenity has been ruined by this drone here. Don't be like that guy. You're not allowed to fly drones in the national parks, no matter what the size is, no matter what they are. It scares wildlife, and the truth is it just kind of ruins the experience as well.
I tried my best to find interesting foregrounds, but the cloud was simply not playing ball. However, I continued my search with my fingers firmly crossed.
And say, if you're shooting brands or product, like, sure, I'm sure artificial intelligence could maybe make a fancy background for the product or kind of relatively accurately recreate the product itself, but you want images of a brand's athletes or the actual shoes that they wear or the clothes that they're using. And you want those real things in that advertising campaign or in those images. So again, AI might get close, but a photographer will get closer. And in regards to brands or products or even food and drink or event photography, like for AI to be able to create an image, it has to have a catalogue of thousands of similar images to use and base its kind of reproduction off of. So if it's a brand new menu item or a brand new product, it's not going to be able to nail it exactly. So I think in those circumstances, photographers will always have a place. I'm not sure if you can see that behind me. Maybe if I darken it up. The mountain's just about coming out, so maybe in a minute I will be able to get some shots, but let's see.
My naive optimism couldn't help clear the weather, and the light never did break through. But with the right conditions, Minnewanka in late winter can offer spectacular results. And here are some I prepared earlier. All taken during clearer skies and produced without the single little bit of artificial intelligence.
One of the many inconveniences of shooting in -22 is that my tripod just freezes solid and then I can't change it. Monfrotto, call me. And lastly, I suppose the most concerning for me is landscape photography. And yeah, I've seen some incredible images created by AI, but again, they're not quite there. It's that uncanny valley thing. They're not of an actual location. And for me, photography is all about actually getting out there. And to be honest with you, I'm not really bothered about making money of selling prints or, producing landscape images. I do this for my own enjoyment, for my own mental health, to get outside and really spend time out in nature. And if I used AI, I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't be looking at these mountains. I could be sat at home having a cup of tea in the warm, producing images in AI, but instead I get to stand on a frozen lake in -22, losing the feeling in my toes. And isn't that kind of what it's all about? So ironically, this might be a bit of a bust for landscape photography today just because the cloud is so low, and I probably would have got better images had I actually, made some up with some artificial intelligence. But let me know what you think. Is it going to ruin the photography industry? Is it going to ruin your enjoyment of photography? Or is it really just a tool that people could use just to get likes on Instagram because they've got some kind of epic scenery or epic sunset that they've never actually seen? But yeah, feel free to leave a comment below. And once again, really appreciate you watching, and hopefully I will see you on the next one.